let's install some exhaust. Welcome back to another video, ladies and gents. Today we're gonna be doing exhaust on my Coyote Swap fastback. I hope you guys are excited. Let's hop right into it. So if you've been following around here with the channel, we've been getting closer and closer to finally taking this thing out on the road. And one thing we need to do today in order to get that done is exhaust. And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do you need exhaust to be hooked up to take this thing out? Why don't you just run open headers? You're completely right. I do have the long tube headers already installed and we've done the fire up. However, there's one thing missing. So come with me underneath the car. I'm gonna tell you exactly what's going on. We have the long tube headers that are right here. And you see these O2 sensors, right? These O2 sensors are critical when it comes to having this car actually function as it should. But the thing is, these O2 sensors, they're way too close to the exit port. And I did not know this, but somehow, some way, fresh air that's coming out here gets sucked in, and this O2 sensor is reading a mixture of the outside air along with the exhaust that's coming in from the Coyote. So it's reading that it's extremely rich in dumping fuels. S&P, the guys that are tuning this Coyote, needs more length so that these O2 sensors are reading correctly, because they were doing data log and these things were going crazy. So basically they said that they need a foot more of tubing, but to be completely honest, I'm not just going to put a tube here so that it can run correctly. I'm just going to install the rest of the exhaust system underneath this car. So that's what we'll be doing today, which I'm very excited that we're actually doing, because it actually forces me to complete this exhaust system instead of running open headers, which could be kind of crazy. So this is the current exhaust system that I have here on the Coyote Swap fastback, and that's the Doug's long tube headers. You would think that any long tube headers would fit on a Coyote Swap Mustang fastback. That is incorrect. I tried doing that with the Pipes long tube headers. It fit perfectly on the driver's side. Everything flowed very well, which is kind of strange because you do have the steering column. You have so much stuff doing here. It was the passenger side that is too tight to squeeze. So the current setup is the Doug long tube headers. They're designed specifically for this setup, but it's open headers, and we're going to be completing the full entire exhaust system today. Let's see what this Coyote sounds like with open headers. This thing is going to be extremely loud. Let me just tell you, video does absolutely no quality, but I still want to fire her up. If you have not seen the first ever fire up, go ahead and check out that video as well. Give it a big thumbs up, subscribe while you're at it. Let's go and unleash the bald eagles out of this car. I do want to show you the current setup that we have here with this fastback. So we're still in the wiring process, and Edwin from Top Notch Performance actually set me up with a kill switch. Basically, if anything goes wrong, this is what we're going to be used to kill off the full entire system, and which is the ground for the full control pack. So we do have to ground it, which we could ground it literally at any spot. This will do for now. And now that the system is activated, let's go ahead and fire her up. All right, now that we have the kill switch activated, we can go ahead and start her up just like any other car. Let's make sure it's in neutral first, which it is. Let's go ahead and get her up and running. It gets pretty rowdy. I wish you guys could be here and actually listen to it live, because it is, oh my gosh, it's so rich. Very, very rich. And I could actually understand why S&P said to get the exhaust done, because you could tell it is dumping fuel quite a bit, but that's what it sounds like with open headers. It sounds good. I'm glad that we can get this thing up and running, but I need S&P to come back after the exhaust is done so that he can do his magic and get the most horsepower of this car. All right, now let's do an unboxing of the Pipes Violator mufflers, which was equipped on my old setup. You guys absolutely love. I've already done the unboxing, kinda. I've already looked inside of valves. I'm just way too excited, so ta-da, let's go get to it. Very, very straightforward, but here they are. The Pipes Violator 3-inch mufflers. And one of the cool things about this thing, look inside of it. Look at the design that you could see. That is basically the secret formula to get that amazing sound that you guys love to hear. It produces an amazing sound, and I like it. So now that we have that, let's talk about the rest of the system that we have here. So Pipes did provide the full entire system, from the long tubes all the way out to the rear end. However, we do have to custom fabricate it, and actually gave the mid pipe to Edwin. So let's go ahead and fast forward to that to see exactly what mid pipe we went with, as well as all the other tubing that is included with the setup. It is the next day here, absolutely raining. We had to close the garage. This H-pipe from Pipes Performance, pretty good here. Let me show you guys where that little can join right there. Edwin welded up, and we're gonna go ahead and mock it up, see how it's gonna look like underneath the car. These brake lines. All right, I got you.
All right, so we're just gonna slip her in. So wiggle her in as much as you can this way.
Okay.
She should slide in like butter. She's going.
She's going in?
Oh yeah, she's almost there, bro. Slowly but surely.
We got the exhaust mocked up for the most part, mid-pipe, H-pipe. This is not the final deal, but we just we're looking at the clearance, and we're gonna put the mufflers on right now and fire her up. We're gonna see how it's gonna sound like essentially, and go from there. All right, now it's time that we've all been waiting for. The pipes violators are finally gonna go on. So let's go ahead and do a little review what we have so far. Go all the way down here, and we have the band claps, as you guys can see, connecting to the pipes mid-pipe, the H-pipe, cantless. And then from the rear, we will be putting on these mufflers here. This is going to be the final piece. We're going to clamp it on. Nothing is final just quite yet because we do have to put the Mustang up in the air to get a better alignment. So you see these rear ends. It's very, very hard in this tight spot in a garage to really finish up this exhaust system. Plus, the John's 9-inch rear end 4-link suspension is kind of difficult to get around one of the links, the top links, the coilovers, the rear axle, and the gas tank. So we can only do so much inside of the garage, but we got the most part and basically how it's going to sound with the mufflers attached at the end. So that is the game plan that we're going to do. Literally have to clamp these suckers on, and we'll go ahead and fire her up. The full exhaust system is on. I got one camera there to get you guys that angle. We're going to be hooking up the kill switch that Edwin put just in case things go off wire. And then basically once that is all good to go, we'll get our first ever cold start, first ever reactions on the long tube headers, the H-pipe, and the violator mufflers. All right, let's go ahead and fire her up. Quieter. Oh, because of the ground.
Yeah, my bad. I was like,
dude, I'm telling you, it works. Let's fire her up. Just like that, we finally got exhaust here on the fastback, thanks to Pipes Performance as well as top-notch performance for equipping the exhaust on the Coyote Swap fastback. Let's get the startup and idle sound clips of this Violator exhaust system. The more I see this project turn into a car, just because we've gone so far with the 289, cutting it up, completely transforming all the suspension and the motor, but the more times I see this thing as an actual drivable car, the more excited I get. We just need brakes, and literally we're gonna be taking this thing out on the road. But sometimes I just see myself staring at this thing and seeing how far we've come, even though it's been quite a while. I'm just so excited just to see the progress, and being on the journey building this thing has been so fun. Let's go ahead and fire her up. So it's still a little bit messy on the inside. I am going to do the full interior. Tell me what I should do with this interior. I plan on just doing just like the normal stuff I do. I do want to make it pretty cool at the end, but let's go ahead and put the power switch. We could ground it anywhere we want. We just been grounding it there, so it's an easy pull out. Now that the full system is connected, you're gonna see that you can finally turn on. Fuel system's on. Let's go ahead and fire her up. obnoxious. This, I can actually like hear the motor running. I can hear myself think, and it's not too loud. I honestly thought the Violators was going to be a little bit obnoxious, but at idle, it's not too bad. It definitely still has that presence. You could definitely hear it, but it's more sane. It's not too crazy, and I actually kind of like it. I can't rev it just yet because it's not tuned. I really want to go about doing some full throttle revs and see how loud this thing can get, because I know it can get very, very loud. But as of now, since it's not tuned, this is pretty much the best I can get. I'll show you guys. Well, we have exhaust and we have it on. Let's go ahead and turn her off. I want to talk a little bit more about the system. What a huge accomplishment that we have so far. We finally got the exhaust on. We have been getting closer and closer to the final end. So Edwin and I actually got to thinking here with this full setup. As you guys can see, the mufflers are hanging down right there, and it's very close to the rear axle. But what we have planned is actually just to mount these mufflers to the rail, so that is just dumps. Edwin thinks that it's best to go dumps just because of how intricate this rear system is with the coilovers, the 4-link suspension, the rear axle, and the sway bar. So we might just dump it right there. And then I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do with the rear. I don't know if I want to block out these exhaust exits that you see right here, but as of now, we're just gonna dump it there to make things a little bit simple. I wish I could show you guys out on the road how it's going to be instead of in this garage, but the car is still a project car and it's not all the way done. I'm killing the kill switch here. I also want to consider doing some side exit exhaust here. So I have that open header where I could go side exit, which will pop out probably around here, as well as having the dumps in the back. I plan on doing some more exhaust stuff down the road, but as of now, I just needed exhaust on so we could tune it, as well as to calm it down just a tad bit because it was very, very loud. But we got exhaust. Now let's go ahead and talk about everything else that we need to do to get this Coyote out on the road. So this is my second master cylinder that I've had with this Coyote swap, and a Coyote is not supposed to be in a classic fastback, so you kind of have to wing things, and I learned that the hard way on this fastback. You have to wing a lot, you have to custom fabricate and build a lot, and this second master cylinder is not working. As you guys can obviously see right here, the valve covers are in the way. So I have to figure out what we're gonna do with this brake system. I don't know if they have a smaller one with a smaller rod. They probably do. We'll figure it out, but this is delaying me probably another week or two just because I don't have the right master cylinder to fit into there so that I can actually connect the brakes. But literally, it's only brakes and this thing is out on the road. So the plan is I'm in contact with Willwood. We're gonna figure out the braking situation. Top Notch Performance is also going to weld the rest of the exhaust system so that it just stays stationary back there. And we are going to dump the exhaust in the back. We're gonna connect the clutch line, do the pedals, connect the steering, and she's ready to go. So I'm gonna try my best to get that all complete. The next video we get this thing out, we're gonna be doing some full throttle rips so we get some wide open throttle exhaust sounds, just as we did on the last one. This thing is going to be screaming. It's gonna be a recipe for complete eargasm. That is all we have here for today. Stay tuned. Make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below. I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys so much for your support. Make sure to grab some merch down below. See you guys in the next one. Deuces.